Welcome to another round of Extreme Boss Babes. And today our guest will be one of the Extreme Boss Babes, May Renee.
Woohoo!
Okay, you are. And I am Wanda with Extremely Clean Janitorial Service.
I am Latoya with Phenomenal Braid and Beauty Bar.
And I am Shelby with Madison's Party Rentals. All right, hey guys, I'm May Renee, CEO of Financial Freedom Consulting. So I guess today we'll be talking about me and my new business adventures. How we doing today, ladies?
Pretty
doing
good,
doing
pretty
good.
How you doing? So hey, May, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, other than this hot Florida weather, you know, it's a really hot day today. But you know, other than that, doing great today.
So today I know you will be talking a little bit about everything you got going on, and we get the opportunity to hear a little bit more about you and your business. So,
all right. Well, I would definitely say with me, you know, I am a new business owner, and one thing I can say what really brought me to be having my own business is because I've always been in the corporate world all my life, and I just wanted to kind of do something different.
right.
The most life-changing thing that happened to me is when I lost my mother. So I felt like I really needed to do something different for myself. And I just didn't really want to work with anybody anymore, be anybody's worker. I wanted to be my own boss. You know, being around, you know, a lot of boss ladies like yourself made me really realize like I can really do a lot of things my own instead of really helping another company make so much money. Because I have a passion for, you know, a lot of the clients that I do. And my business is pretty much about credit consulting and helping people to buy houses, you know, helping them, you know, when it comes down to banking information. And I'm also a mobile notary where I can notarize, and I am where I can come to you or you can come to me, where I can help people when it comes down to divorce papers, when it comes down to quit claim deeds, contract. I do all of that, yes.
Yes, I must say you are an amazing person. First
Thank
of
you.
all, and we get the opportunity to work together almost every day. So that's been a very those have been some great moments just to be able to work together. So
Yes, for sure.
So May, within your business, how do you, I know that you are Haitian Creole, how do you go as far as assisting those of the Haitian Creole background? Because I know a lot of those individuals, you know, come here and, you know, looking for a start. How do you assist those individuals in what it is that you do?
Well, Haiti's definitely different. You know, when it comes to Haiti, they don't have credit. You know, credit is something that they don't use. They use word of mouth, and they use pretty much like here in the United States, they call it collateral, your property, as far as either your property or your car. At Haiti, as long as you have some form of property, you can use that to go to the bank to borrow money. You know, Haiti doesn't do credit check or anything. They go by, long as you work, you have property, they will let you borrow the money. So them transitioning to America, I had to teach them that America is all about what they call credibility. You know, you gotta show your credibility with how you pay your bills. You have to show, let's be real, the white man that, hey, if I get this, I'm showing you that I can pay it so you can trust me to get a house, a car, a loan, things like that. So it's like transitioning my Haitian people is really hard because Haitian people are very stubborn and they don't like to owe people. That's the biggest thing that was a challenge for me, is getting them to understand of showing your credibility to creditors, lenders, is how you'll be able to get the things that you want in the United States, because it's different from them. Because the way our country does things is way different from the way the United States does things. Yeah, so, you know, it's just all about educating them is the biggest thing. And I always even tell the younger youth, the more you learn about credit, the more you'll understand it. Because I feel like nobody should get credit if you don't understand it. Because that's where you can put yourself in debt and a lot of trouble. Because me personally, I didn't get my first credit card till I was 30. Because I knew nothing about credit. Growing up under a Haitian background, it was always told credit isn't good for you. But when trying to get a house or a car without credit, you can't really get those things. Or you can get a car without credit, but your interest rate is going to be through the roof. And a lot of people don't know that, you know. And that's what I try to educate a lot of people about, especially my Haitian clients. I love helping my Haitian clients, but I want to veer more of helping other people too. Because it's not only about the Haitian people, it's about my Black people too, especially the younger generation that's growing up under us, So I think that's important.
So do you think with them coming here from Haiti, it'd be a lot harder? Don't they have to, obtain green, was it? The citizenship and those type of things before they even get credit, right?
Because you can't even have no type of, you can't even get credit without a social, or you can't get credit without some form of citizenship either. They'll be here where they can work, but no lender will give them a credit card or a house or a mortgage or anything.
And it make it just that much difficult, I'm sure, for them.
That's why it's important for them to come in the right way. Everybody deserves a chance coming in from another country because a country like Haiti is a very poor country. The people work so hard. They remind me so much of the Mexican people. If they're given the opportunity, they're gonna run with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like them coming over here, as long as they do it the right way, they can be able to get into those opportunities that we all have. But it's all about educating yourself. I always tell them, don't limit yourself. Try to go to school, learn English, read the books, because a lot of Haitian people come here and think they're just supposed to go work in the orange groves or work at the hotels and don't teach themselves anything.
Right. Well, I gotta agree. I do know that they are hard workers. They're very talented. I see a lot of them, really going into the music world as artists. And when I tell you, just hearing a lot of them with the talent, it's just mind blowing. My sister, which is Latoya's mom, she was married to Haitian.
Yeah.
And even back when she was young, she was, I think, T maybe was in her early 20s, and she was married to Haitian, and she was actually translating. And those people, only thing they just needed to do was, understand what they needed, what job needed to be done, what they had to do as far as perform. So, and if they understood that, once they got it, it was like they take off.
Exactly.
It's like fast learners. They're very ambitious people. I mean, I love everything about how they really, take the opportunity serious.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of created my business, because I love helping people understand the whole, credit when it comes down to my business is more educational, and I have a lot of lenders that I work with for first-time home buyers. I'm going to be coming up of doing, my financial literacy classes with seminars where, my mortgage specialists are willing to come and speak to first home buyers and letting them know what they need to do. Because a lot of people don't understand, even with business, your personal side of the credit has to be in somewhat good enabled, because as a business owner, they're going to put you on there. So if your credit is not good, how can they trust you as a business owner, right?
Well, yeah, I would say, as well, and depending, when it comes down to the personal side as well, they do like to know, the person who's actually going to be putting that, that owns that business. They want to know how that person is doing as far as paying bills and being on time. The credibility, you're absolutely right with that. A lot of businesses, once they, break into that arena of just having, doing business over an amount of time and years, then you don't have to, the person don't have to show up as often. We don't have, that owner don't have to show up anymore like that. But in the beginning, you just can't go to a bank with a new business or business been around 35 years and say, hey, I want to go and purchase a car or anything like that for this business, and they not want to know who you are. They're going to want to know who's the owner. Let me see what the owner look like as far as their credit standing. So at that point, once they learn who the owner is, and after so many years, you don't have to show who you are anymore. That business just kind of stands on its own and do its own thing. So,
So what would you say would be some valuable information to young individuals who are maybe say 18, just kind of getting out into the world, wanting to get their first credit card, secure card? What are some important some important things that they should know, once they get it? Because I remember being 18 and I got my first. 30%. I was like, what is that? Like,
Exactly.
I got a big limit. Like, I'm going to blow it. But maybe if I had someone like you who could kind of give me that knowledge or give me that insight on, hey, this is the to do and the not to do with credit. Because sometimes we just see the amount and we're like, oh yeah, I got $5,000, but not understanding the background behind it. So what advice would you give to young individuals who are just kind of learning about credit or know like, hey, I can go get a credit card? What would you tell them?
I would definitely say if you are working and you're in college, the first thing is if you're working, definitely get you a bank account, because that's very important, because a lot of people don't understand you have to build that relationship with your bank and everything, because a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to put my money in the bank. You have to be able to show that income so lenders know, okay, this person has income, so maybe we can trust them with a little bit of credit, whether if it's a small amount. Especially with college students, you can get you a college credit card. Making sure that you're keeping track and your bank account is good. Making sure, you can pull, like when it comes down to your credit, kind of get with your bank or get with some type of credit advisor to know where you stand with your credit, what's on your credit report, because a lot of people just don't know what's on their credit report. And I believe a lot of younger people that I've encountered, parents have put things in their name and they don't know that. So they're already messed up before they can even start credit.
Right.
So that's a big thing too, So I would definitely say for them to know their credit status, making sure you have a bank account, even if you start off with a college card or even simply as a secured credit card where you're putting your own money up to start building that credit, because you want to show your credibility. People think you can show credibility by, your car insurance, renting and everything. When a creditor pull that, they can't see that you pay your car insurance, your rent, your light bill and water bill. They can see it if you don't pay it.
Right.
But if you're doing good with it, they can't see it. That's real. Like if you pull my credit right now, you can't see that I've been paying my light bill on time. But if I don't pay it and go to collection, I bet you will see that.
Right.
The only thing creditors can see is loans, credit cards, auto loans, and mortgages. That's it. So you have to be able to have some form of credit so you can show that. I would say learn about it, especially if you're 18. Don't jump in or let people, because on college campuses now, there are credit card people everywhere. So don't let somebody talk you into without at least doing your research, learning more about it, because you can put yourself in a situation. And make sure the income is enough where you can at least make that minimum payment. I say pay it all off if you can, but if you have to make that minimum payment, make sure you can afford whatever you're spending, make sure you can afford to pay that back. Because a lot of people think, oh, I can just let it go to my credit, but they don't understand that can affect them in the long run. Because I've had students say that to me, oh, if they give me $500, I'm finna go blow it. But you're not thinking about your future, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And everything. And it's also about, it starts in the household. If the people in the household don't know about credit and everything, how can you teach your child that's going out into a world like that? So that's very important, because my mother knew nothing about credit at all. That's why I didn't learn about credit until I started working for the bank, which was crazy. Yeah, so I had to teach my mom about credit. I had to teach my man about credit for him to even get credit and be where he's at, because he was the type of person where you couldn't even say debit card or credit card around him without him going crazy and everything. Cash was everything or whatever until he tried to get a house and they denied him. And that woke him up right there for sure.
Yeah. So maybe would you say your passion come from not knowing?
Yes, not knowing, because a lot of people don't realize it's so much information in the banks and from lenders that our people are asleep on. And let's be real, the white people have been doing it for years. Right. And a lot of black people don't understand you can use the bank to get a lot of things that you want to get and everything. And a lot of people don't want to educate themselves or take the time. Look at all this money that they get from their taxes and everything. I always try to educate them young girls. Hey, get a secure card, go open an account. They need to see that money and at least see some form of credit for you to get in the house. To get a house right now, all you need is a 600 credit score. Just to get a house. All you have to show is that you have $1,000 in the bank, have a 600 credit score and everything, and then you'll be able to get the house. It's not that hard. And a lot of people don't realize that.
So in the near future, do you ever think about having classes educating the youth?
Yes, that's my biggest plan that I'm putting together now. Because me, I'm the type of person I want to make sure it's right before I put it out there. You know, I've done it for so long, but I just want to make sure when I do it, especially with everything going on with COVID and stuff, I want to make sure when I'm promoting of doing those educational classes is that it's going to be available where people can have that option to come or not or schedule it. So I'm looking at for January of 2021 to doing those classes because a lot of people need those educational classes. And it took me a long time to understanding budgeting and managing. And I think I get that from my man also because he is very cheap. And when it comes down to budgeting, you have to be able to know how to budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's important.
I would say a great money manager. Like,
Yes.
what would y'all think? Like,
I agree.
you know, you have to know how to manage money.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, that's a problem with a lot of us that, you know, I would say a lot goes on in our type of homes.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't manage money well. Any credit you get, it's just about using it, not paying anything back. And people have to start educating their kids, you know, from youth to let them know about credit, how important it is. You have to let them know, you know, by giving them a credit card, giving them cards and debit cards, letting them do little transactions and things like that, and continuously letting them know how important it is to just have credit because, you know, they say, yeah, we know cash is cow, but, you know, that credit is almost like king.
Right. Yeah. So would you say before getting credit, you should have money coming in first? I
Yeah.
think- You don't
To be
think you should
honest.
be taught about money first before credit?
Yeah, money management because if you manage your money, if you're using that, you know that you have the money to pay off the credit. So
Right.
that does tie into it. But I would say they need to learn about credit first because it's all different, like with hands-on banking, it's all different websites. Even with your bank, they provide that for you where they have links on there where you can actually go on there and learn the free education about credit. Because if you don't know that you're supposed to only, like Shelby said, use 30% of it, then you're going to blow the whole thing. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that if you keep a balance on your credit card, that's why you're paying so much interest on there.
Okay.
You got to understand when you're going into a credit card, read it, see if there's an annual fee, see what the interest rate will be, see if they're even offering, hey, for 12 months, no interest. You have to be able to, people don't like to read, that's the problem. Before getting into something, read and make sure you're understanding what you're getting yourself into. Because once you sign it, you're tied to it, even if you don't even use it. You know, so a lot of people need to make sure, do your research. You have to be able to understand credit before you really start using credit.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's the greatest thing about Extreme Boss Babe. You know, along come with a lot of things. You know, we have people that call, and those are some of the talks that I even share. You know, I normally, you know, try and let people know when they start asking about different credits and things like that. Before I even push it on to you to just say, you know, about credit. Oh my, you know, a lot of times, oh, my credit's screwed up. I remember getting this and that, and I just couldn't afford to pay it. Now you got a business and that credit is coming back to haunt you, or it's going to be like a roadblock where you can't move forward like you want to in your business. Now lately,
So not to cut you off, what you just said, I got credit, but I couldn't afford to pay it. So you don't think it's kind of backwards teaching credit first and before money management?
Yeah.
Because you can teach some people, you can teach them all about credit, but I know everything about credit. But if I got the money to pay it, then I'm not paying it.
Exactly.
yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
So
you got to be
you
able to money
definitely want
manage.
them,
Yeah,
you
you're
definitely
right.
want,
Definitely.
you have to have that money management for sure because it's very, to me, just knowing how to manage money and make sure that you don't overspend, just to continue paying off whatever it is you got on, you know, in credit is, you know, it's definitely helpful. I see people, you know, start off pretty good, you know, and they end up, you know, having money and, you know, the next thing you know, they get credit and it's just like, they just go on a spending spree. They spend all the money, they spend up the credit, and, you know, and they don't think about it no more. It's just like, you know what, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah,
That's something that's gonna hurt you, you know, possibly 7 years or more. So I tell people all the time, like, you know, you have to be very, take credit and money both as important when you looking into your future. You know, you have to think, do I want to have something in life?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't. So, you know, and if they feel they don't, none of that even matters. So
Exactly.
it's really, you know.
So yeah, that's the pretty much the goal for me and everything. Because, you know, I am doing other things also. Like I also, you know, just got into, with me inheriting, you know, my mother's home and her property, which is a huge property. I got into, you know, the rental property. So I also have a business called BB's Rental Property, where I have 2 tenants right now, where I'm renting out the rental property. And I didn't realize going into something like that, it's a lot of money you have to dish out. I really didn't, because I was going to ask you ladies when it comes down to it, because I have a budget set for it, but it's so much work and everything. And it's like when you have tenants, you have to accommodate them when they're calling you, if this is broken, they need this, they need that. And it's like, I didn't realize that, like, my siblings think I'm making money, but I'm actually putting everything I make back into the rental property because there's so much that needs to be done, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So really quick, with us talking about credit and your 7-year banking background experience, recently we heard the comment made by the Wells Fargo CEO about there's not enough black talent to pick from. Coming from a banking background, I'm not gonna say where you came from or whatever. Just how did that make you feel?
I feel like, you know, I gave 100% and we don't get enough credit. We definitely don't get enough credit because they feel like banking, when you walk into a bank, you're only supposed to see one race. Let's be real about it. And when you see an educated black person there, and sometimes it was very challenging when I was talking to certain ethnic people, gonna say it, certain white people, because they felt like with me being black, like how do I know so much about banking, you know? And it's like for the CEO, and majority of people that's in banking are a lot of, you know, foreign people, Spanish people, Haitian people, black people, because now with it being, the country being so diverse, you need those people for banks.
Absolutely.
Like I was hired to be a Haitian Creole banker because of so many Haitians. I was the only Haitian in Polk County for 5 years by myself, going between like 5 to 6 banks, different locations, because of the need for Haitian people. And for a CEO to feel like that, you know what I'm saying, that's very, you know, hurtful, and we never get enough credit. No matter what black people get into, we never gonna get the credit that we deserve. That's just what it is in this society.
So May, as a business owner, we got a question. What is your business model?
My boss up motto, and I know you ladies have heard it before, and I actually got that from you saying that to me, like I say, months ago. It's all about never stop the endless hustle, no matter what you do. Because I remember when I was working for the bank and you told me, like, you know so much, like, why are you even working for the bank? You know, you need to make sure you got to hustle no matter what and everything. But I always had a notebook where I was writing, you know, my business plans down and saying, okay, I'm going to leave it this year and everything, but I never did. But I had to realize I have to never stop the endless hustle so I can get to that level that I want to get to and always be my own boss no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I agree.
for sure.
Social media.
Yes.
Where can they find you on socials?
Yes, on social media right now I have my personal page, May Renee, but my website is financialfreedommay.com. When it comes down to if you want to contact me, you can go to my website, or you can go to my personal page also. It has my phone number, or you can DM me if you have any questions or anything. That's where you can definitely find me.
Well, May, it has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
You have done an amazing job.
Yes.
Gave a very interesting story, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to take some from it.
Thank
Keep up the great work. I'll be ready for those classes.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
yeah, definitely so.
Okay, and make sure you all go and follow us, all of us, on Extreme Boss Babes. That's the social media, as well as you can go to our website, www.extremebossbabes.com.
Thank you.